Welcome to Martini Time. Last night I got my connection stopped right in the middle, but I waited and it came back. So we'll see if we can get through. It's been a beautiful day. You see up here, that I've had that now in the water for 2 or 3 days, but it was the first daffodil of the spring. And I always get the first one and cut it, put it in my vase, and it's kind of like, when did the first flower come from? Just imagine on the evolution of the earth, what was the first flower? Imagine that. It's just like, what was the first bloom of consciousness? What was the first bloom of awareness? What was the first Buddha? You see. So I wanted to talk about that today, and I call this talk the flower sermon because see, it just gets kind of washed out. Let's see that you see the similarity between this and that. You see the similarity between all of the mandalas, that we see, Tibetan mandalas. I've got one in my pocket here. I carry with me. Where is it? Oh, come on out. Here. Okay. See that? This is a mandala. It was designed by Swami Satchidananda, and it's on the same side, so no matter how you flip it, it comes up the same side. It's not like a coin. So no matter how you flip the mandala, it comes up the mandala. So I'm trying to make this connection between the flowers blooming in the spring as mandalas, the blooming of a force or an energy from the inside out. You see, I mean, you look at a plant or something and it's just buds, there's nothing there, and then a flower booms, and we love this. And we give these flowers to other people and they make them feel good. So we're giving nature's mandalas. And I wanted to get into what the mandala is and how and why we are attracted to them and what they mean. Because they don't fit into our objective, materialistic Western world. They're its. You cut a flower, it's like an avatar. The sky people, they're all trees. There's no special trees, just you cut this down, another one, go get another tree. You see, there's no home tree for the sky people. So there's no mandala flower. There's just flowers. You cut one, you get another, you give a bunch, you get them back, they all wilt. They're all just things, you see. But that misses the point. That misses the mark. The flower is not a thing. It is we could call it nature's mandala, but it is a bursting forth of a center that is within. And so this flower, this mandala, is a metaphor or a mediator or a bridge between the external world and the awakening of our own consciousness. So the flower represents my awakening, and I can connect with that, you see. The awakening of love. The awakening of awareness, the awakening of a religious consciousness, the awakening of a spiritual consciousness. The feeling of this awakening is the same as when a woman feels the first kick of the fetus. Something is alive. I don't know what it is. I know it's a fetus, but I don't know who it will be. The artist feels this. When he gets an inception, something is alive. I don't know what it will be. I have to give it form. I have to give it a poem. I have to give it a painting, a dance. I I have to give it an art, you see. I have to give this flower a form, you see. So this flower is an internal birth, this mandala of consciousness. This first daffodil of spring, you see, is the awakening of something divine, something mysterious, something that you don't know what it is. You see, the external world is, we know what everything is. Oh, what is that? Well, it's a daffodil. I named it. What's next? You see, everything is named. Everything is defined. Everything is put in categories. What's next? I'm bored. I know everything. What's new? Surprise me. Well, the only real surprise is when the flower awakens in you. And then you say, je suis the flower. Je suis the daffodil. I am, the French word, je suis, I am Charlie, I am the daffodil. So when you awaken, that awareness comes up, je suis the daffodil, je suis the flower, je suis the lotus, je suis the Buddha, or the Christ, you see. It's an awakening within. It's not an objective knowledge that you can pass on in a book and write about it and get a degree on, you see. It's subjective. So, getting back to this, and of course this is what Buddhism is all about, particularly Zen, which is my favorite flavor of Buddhism. This is the awakening. the little traveling Buddha. It's the Chinese Buddha. But it's that joyous awakening. Here's another metaphor, an ostrich egg. The awakening. This is a metaphor, and that's a metaphor for the same thing. Something was within, and it came alive, and it broke out, you see. So this whole awakening is this flower, you see, is a breaking out of death, you see. The external world is a dead world. The external world of objects is dead as a doornail because it's all defined. It's all put in categories and written in books. It's objective. It's thought. It's concepts. It's ideas. But the flower, the daffodil, the mandala that bursts from within is not an idea, a thought rather. It's not an objective thing. It's who you are. Je suis this awakening, you see. So I'm trying to share this shift that is so difficult because this external world, this materialistic Western world we live in, does not have a place on the map for the flower within to awaken. Everything is defined, you see. So we're essentially walking around with a dead zone inside, looking for ourselves in tomorrow, in the future, where maybe then I will awaken. Maybe then I will feel the flower within. Maybe then I'll get pregnant with awareness, you see. Even pregnancy is a metaphor, to be pregnant with life, Well, that's a metaphor for my being pregnant with life, my feeling this kick inside that says, I'm alive and I don't know what I am. What shall I be? What shall I be, you see? So there's a certain mystery and unknown. When it becomes something, well, then you know what it is and it's dead. You've pinned it to the wall and you know it and it's defined, you see. But the actual bursting forth of the flower within is unknown. And so we have to surrender our known world in order to allow the unknown world to break out, you see. They break out cannot happen within until we give up investing in the things of the world, in our knowledge, in my morality, in my religious categories, in my philosophies, my politics. All of that I've invested in, you see, because it gives my ego a place, and my ego's a thing. You see? So we're trapped in the thingness of the world. And we can't discover that which is not a thing, which is your heart, which is your flower within. The living flower within is not a thing, you see. But we can't discover it until we realize, until we see through and through that our investment in the external world of things as being the only reality is basically a dead zone. Doesn't mean it's not real, it just means it's dead. It's already been labeled and explored. It's already been discovered. Nothing left. No more surprises. It's all known, you see. So the final breakout, the final awakening, you see, is when there is a shift from this view of the external world to the view from the inside, to the awakening of knowing. Knowing is awakening of this awareness that is you as a center. I am the center of the world. So when I start these talks, I say, you are the center of the world. Or Blackstone is the center of the world, but you too are the center of the world. Everyone is a center of the world. But when you look at that objectively, that doesn't make sense. Well, how can you be the center of the world? According to the theory of Einstein's relativity, there is no center. You see? So blue. Logic destroys that. Logic destroys the mystery of the flower. Logic destroys the awakening of the mandala within. So, thanks for dropping in, and see you tomorrow.